old-timey quote. They say Mark Twain said it. It's about the truth and lies. Our beautiful, beautiful planet, as photographed by the Artemis astronauts. Isn't that amazing? It is amazing, right? The great big globe. And maybe you remember an old-timey quote. They say Mark Twain said it. It's about the truth and lies. And I think it's very appropriate right now. A lie can
No worries.
Our beautiful, beautiful planet, as photographed by the Artemis astronauts. Isn't that amazing? It is amazing, right? The great big globe. And maybe you remember an old-timey quote. They say Mark Twain said it. It's about the truth and lies. And I think it's very appropriate right now. A lie can travel halfway around the world while the truth is putting on its shoes.
No worries. Stop.
Our beautiful, beautiful planet.
Shalom. First thing and foremost, I want to give all praises and glory and honor that's due to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders, a great millstone that rule well. Peace and blessings and salutation to the hopeful elect. Knows in the gospel, brother, from the standard of Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, wherever it may be. This is another lesson through the spirit. Esau is full of shit. All right. He has this new space voyage called Artemis that he's allegedly made it to the moon again. Now, I believe they've talked about that they've made it to the moon maybe, I don't know, they said they went back a couple of times. I think the last time was the Apollo missions, which was back in the 60s. And when you go into the prophecy of Obadiah, it tells us straightforward how when they set their nest among the stars, hence I should bring thee down. This devil has not made it to the moon, but if you look at all these NASA footages and all this other stuff, it says the first Canadian to fly to the moon and back. How the hell you get to the moon? For one thing, okay, if you went to the moon, why you just not going back if you've been several times? Or why you just not going back this year? See, what we realizing that this devil, man, he's doing whatever he can to play on the mindset of the people, because when you read these comments, people were in the comments cooking these devils, man. Okay, because we know that all spacewalks take place. We know all spacewalks take place on the water. So when they preparing for their spacewalks, they do it on the water exceptionally because, you know, I mean, it's the same concept. The scriptures goes into the waters, the Shemayim, right? How the Lord divided the waters from the waters, because you got waters beneath, and you got waters above. You know, you just got different forms of water, so to speak. But when you read the comment, people already debunked the fact that this whole Artemis voyage, that they showed the rocket going up, but the people was getting ripped off on a zip line or some shit like that. There's different videos out there of people getting footage that they didn't really go up there. You know, like, let me see this. What is this here? Let me see. ERL. Hold up. Let's do this real quick. Let's go to. Fuck is it at, man? TikTok. Fake moon. And the Candace Owens show showed you.
You really believe that in 19...
The Candace Owens show showed you. I watched the show maybe last year sometime, and she was going into how the moon landing was fake, on how a lot of they shit they did in the studio. Like, what's that movie called? The Shining. I think it was Room 237 or some shit like that. But allegedly, you know, they did it like in a whole little studio setting. You know, it wasn't real. And when they show like part of the earth, that's allegedly from a distance. Allegedly, that was them in the back of some type of object, and they put like a curtain or something up, and they turned the lights off, and basically it was light on the outside, and they made it seem like that was the earth from a distance. But they was stupid because they played on the emotions of people, man.
Let's talk about one of my favorite.
So let's go here. Artemis. fake moon Artemis.
All right, so they have some explaining to do. Why is this ball? Why are there letters and words leaking through like it's some kind of, you know, CGI overlay or something like that? I mean, that's crazy. Look, like the colors, like that blue color is like, oh, there we go. Oh no! Oh, can you move it? It's showing the letters. Okay, I'll move it up here. A little strange. All right, so they have some explaining to do. Why?
This is Jeremy's dinner, and in space you really just eat all of your food out of bags of some kind, plastic bags or little metallic bags, because we have to rehydrate a lot of our food. This is actually shrimp cocktail.
Yeah, so watch the tail the bag leaves on Jeremy's face. So that's this guy right here. This bag is just floating in the air, and if you don't know with this footage that they send out, all these things that are floating, it's actually CGI, it's completely computer animated, and that's why there's so many inconsistent.
So NASA wants us to believe that they can take high-resolution videos and pictures from 240,000 miles away in outer space. But when the astronauts land in the ocean, it looks like it's recorded on a camcorder from 1998. That makes perfect sense, right? Like, they just continue to prove how fake this actually was. This is so faked, it's staged, it was filmed in a green screen. I mean, can you just look at this picture? I mean, did y'all actually watch these videos? If it was legit, with all the technology we have nowadays, how the hell is this the picture that we get and the video quality that we get of them landing in the ocean? You can't tell me they weren't prepared for this. You can't tell me they don't have any better cameras, better images, better this, better that. And I don't want to hear all the excuses from all of you that actually believe this is real. There are no more things that prove
Like they
this
said,
is
there
real.
was no cameras in the capsule, anything like that. Why didn't they live stream it, right? Same thing when Gail King and them women allegedly went up into space for like 4 seconds and some shit. It's all folly, bro. All right?
It is
Esau
completely
is a joke.
fake.
Artemis 2 is completely fake. The truth is, the moment the rocket launched, the astronauts were already back on the ground. Everything you see in the videos, floating in zero gravity, walking in space, even the shaky helmets, is just green screen effects. Look closely, and the truth is shocking. Keycap 1, the astronauts' movements are stiff and unnatural. The so-called zero gravity effect is totally staged, and sharp-eyed viewers have already spotted hidden secrets in the props and setups. Keycap 2, the iPad, doesn't float at all. Every floating moment, every zero gravity scene, is a visual illusion, completely manufactured for the camera. Keycap 3, even the splashdown footage looks like it was shot with a 1998 camcorder. Think about it. NASA can capture high-resolution images from 240,000 miles away in space. Yet their return-to-Earth video looks like a decades-old recording. It makes no sense. From the moon to deep space and back to Earth, the entire mission was packaged as a spectacular human achievement. But in reality, it was just a green screen show, a carefully orchestrated performance designed to fool everyone. NASA's historic Artemis 2 mission may have never really left the ground. Artemis 2 is completely fake. The truth is, the moment
So basically, Esau's full of shit. People have caught up to it. And for one thing, the moon is its own separate light. So how you gonna land on something that's objectively hot? And second of all, how did you get through the firmament, the Van Allen belts, the atmosphere? How did you get through that? Don't make no sense, bro. All right? They're lying.
You know, at this point, America really needs to get their priorities straight, because this is not it. This is not it. Our tax dollars are going to a fake flyer on the moon. Okay, this is what they're paying for. They're paying for the studio. Okay, that's what they're paying for. Studio, because all this is fake. You got Americans struggling, barely can pay for groceries because the grocery prices are high. Rent is high, gas is high, and this is what's important to the government right now. And this is, you know, first of all, NASA is full of shit. But this is what's supposed to be so important to the government right now. And this is, Americans are supposed to be so freaking happy about.
Yeah, they playing with people, man. Like I said, how can they make it to the moon again when they never made it the first time? They didn't go. Trust me, they never went. Everybody knows that. Everybody is waking up to this fucking devil, bro. So anyway, Salakia, I kind of did this on the fly. It's been a busy day. But he never made it to the moon. Point blank, period. So anyway, let's get a preset real quick. This is the book of Proverbs 25. And I'm going to start at verses 2. It says here, it is the glory of the Most High to conceal a thing, but the honor of kings is to search out a matter. But the heavens for height and the earth for depth, and the heart of kings is unsearchable. So you can't measure the earth, you can't measure the heavens, you can't measure in depth. Now Esau tries to through his particular his tools and his measurement, his instruments and so forth. He tries to get precise measurements, but he can't, because the Lord said that he spread out the heavens like a curtain, man. So if you understand what a curtain is something, or the universe is ever growing, it's ever creating. And scientists prove that as well. So for him to say that he went into the atmosphere and went into the moon, that's bullshit, man. Okay, because if that was the case, then check this out. This is the book of Jeremiah 31. And I'm going to start at verses... Let's start at verses 31. It says, behold, the days come, says Yahweh, that I will make a new covenant with the house of Israel and with Judah. Okay, which we're not in the new covenant yet, when we're under grace. Not according to the covenant that I made with their fathers in the day that I took them out of Egypt. I took them by the hand to bring them out of the land of Egypt, which my covenant they break, although I was a husband unto them, says Yahweh. But this should be the covenant that I will make with the house of Israel after those days, says Yahweh, and I will put my law into their inward parts and write it in their hearts, and will be their power, and they should be my people. And they should teach no more every man his neighbor, and every man his brother, saying, know Yahweh. For they shall all know me, from the least of them unto the greatest of them, says Yahweh. And I will forgive their iniquity, and I remember their sin no more. So we're coming into the time of the new covenant when Yahweh Shai gathers us, right? But it says, for thus says Yahweh, which giveth the sun for a light by day, and an ordinance, which an ordinance is a law, right? Or order, or command, or the moon of the stars for a light by night. Wait, so if lights have heat, how the fuck can your ship land on the moon? Because it says a light by night. So anybody knows that any source of light has some type of heat source to it. So he's still under the impression that the sun gives the moon his light, and that's not true. The moon has its own light, according to Sirach, 43rd chapter, I think. That's what it is. 42 or 43. But it reads here, it says, which divided the sea when the waves thereof, because the moon is set up in balance, all right? So you have what they call like lunar cycle, or lunar, like on certain times of the full moon, the tides are more crazier, you know what I'm saying? Like lunar. But it says here, which divided the sea when the waves thereof roar, the Lord of hosts is his name. But if those ordinances depart from before me, says Yahweh, then the seed of Israel also shall cease from being a nation before me. So this is why he's trying to block out the sun. This is why he's trying to shoot rockets at the sun, at the moon. This is why he's attempting to go in space, because he wants to fulfill this. And it reads, it says, thus says Yahweh, if heaven above can be measured, and the foundation of the earth can be searched out beneath, I will also cast off all the seed of Israel for all that I have done, says Yahweh. Okay, so if he made it to the moon, then we wouldn't be here doing what we're doing today. If he made it up there and walked in space or on the moon, we would not be here today. We would be done away with. All Israelites would just be dead. We'll disappear, we'll eviscerate, and we won't be a nation no more to be found. That's why he's lying and doing that, because he's hoping that he could trick the Most High. But Esau is fucking dumb, man. All right? Dude is a devil, man. Okay? Understand heavens. 2nd Ezra 4:21, it says, for like as the ground is given into the wood, and the sea to its floods, even so they that dwell upon the earth may understand nothing but that which is upon the earth. And he that dwelleth above the heavens may only understand the things that are above the height of the heavens. So he don't understand what's out there. He may can see certain things, and he have certain telescopes and things like that to give him imaging, but he don't understand what's out there, man. Okay, because remember the Lord said that he stretched out the heavens as a curtain. So even if Esau was to get close, the Most High could just expand it. You know, because it says he walketh on a circle of the earth. You know, so hey, the Lord is cold, bro. This devil, he's through. You know, Isaiah 40, and I'm gonna start at verses 22. It says, "It is he that sitteth upon the circle of the earth, and the inhabitants thereof are as grasshoppers, that stretched out the heavens as a curtain and spreaded them out as a tent to dwell in." Man, so the heavens is vast, and it says heavens plural, which means there's other worlds out there, other lands, other planets. You know, other planetary bodies that Yahweh Shai said he was gonna go and prepare a place for us, man. So this devil don't know, man. He's trying, but he can't get through the Van Allen belts or the atmosphere, the firmament. He can't get past it because there's a gulf fixed between a different dimension up there, which space is a whole different world. Like underneath the ocean, that's a different dimension. You know, it's a different world under there, so you can't dwell under there for an extended period of time. And even if you was to so-called go to space, so-called go up there, which you can't go up there, you won't be able to inhabit up there anyway, because you don't have an extraterrestrial body, but a terrestrial body. Because your body is designed to be on the earth in this domain. So you full of shit. You never made it to the moon, my nigga. All right, and anybody that's believing that, hey, go get your head checked. They never made it. They never will. And we proved that by reading the book of Jeremiah. What was it? 31, I think, 33, if I'm not mistaken. 31 and 35. All right, the book of Obadiah 1. And I'm going to start at verses 1, and I'm going to start at verses 6. It says, "How are the things of Esau searched out? How is his hidden things sought up?" But going up to 3, it says, "The pride of thy heart have deceived thee among," it says, "The pride of thy heart have deceived thee, thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rock, whose habitation is high, that said in his heart, who should bring me down to the ground? Though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, and though thou set thy nest among the stars, thence would I bring thee down, says Yahweh." Okay, so the fact that you attempted to go up there, the Lord is bringing you down. All right, now I did this real quick. I looked up. Oh, give me a break, man. Artemis got, no, Artemis, RTM, goddess. And real quick, it says Artemis is a major Olympian goddess. So why is they naming these spacewalks at the Greek gods, right? Mythology, myth, fake, right? It says Olympian goddess in ancient Greek mythology. She rules over the hunt, wilderness, wild animals, nature, vegetation, especially for young girls, childbirth, and chastity. The Romans identify her with Diana, the goddess of the hunt, moon, and wilderness. Okay, because allegedly she's the twin sister of Apollo, which is the daughter of Zeus. Okay, crescent moon, linking her to lunar aspects, sacred planets. And this is the goddess Artemis. And Niobe, Orion, Artesian worship. Yep, Esau worships idols, man. But anyway, with that, all praises and glory and honor that's due to Yahweh Shai. Lord, is where you edified. Until the next lesson. Shalom.